Welcome yet once again to another episode of the most political show in Nigeria at the moment, the Politalker, where we talk about elections, politics, governance, and everything leading on to the 2027 general elections happening next year. And over the last 1 week, there has been, up till this very moment of recording, there's been stories and updates about primaries. And the mode of primaries in each party, we have for the senatorial, for the presidency, and so on. Most parties have seemed to adopt this open or direct primary mode, direct primary election mode. In the APC, something surprising has happened, and we've seen that a relatively unknown candidate in the name of Mr. Stanley Osifo is contested against the incumbent president and the leader of the party. And what is most surprising is that the number of votes accorded to the president is about 11 million as against 10,000 to Mr. Stanley Osifo. People are asking, what is really happening? So people have said that there's no need to even go into the elections again, that the president has won. That if only accredited members of the APC come out and vote on the election day, the election will be done before noon. I had to give all this introduction so that we can, set a tone for today's discussion. I'm here with CDO, and he's going to tell us what he thinks about, the results of these primary elections in the APC before we talk about other parties.
Okay, well, just like you said, the result of the APC primary is expected. For some of us who really understand what's happening in the political scene, some of us who know how much the president has put in, the efforts he's put in, and the kind of support he's getting right around the nation now, we are not surprised at the result of the primary. And but most people will ask, why such huge number? Just like you said, in the past, we've had the delegate system. But what's happened now is that APC adopted the direct primaries, just like some other parties are doing. And adopting the direct primaries means that every card-carrying member is eligible to vote for the primaries. Unlike before, where constituents would just come as delegates and vote. That's something that we should talk about. That's something that we should let Nigerians know.
Is that a sign of true democracy?
Yes, it is a sign of true democracy, because what we have seen in the past is that we've seen godfatherism in the delegate system. We've seen people hijack the delegates. We've seen people
brown envelopes.
Exactly, and things that should not be mentioned. Dealing with the delegates depended on who's had more financial muscle or who the godfather of the party is. But with the direct primary system now, what it means is that you don't even know who's going to vote for you. So you don't even know where to go. Who do you want to talk to? Even if you want to give brown envelopes, where are you going to start from? Where are you going to go? Nationwide. So that is what APC did. And also, because it is the first of its kind, because it's the first time, I think what happened is that it made a lot of people come out. That's why you're seeing the number you're seeing. That's why you're seeing up to 11 million people coming out for the primaries. And as for the Osifo guy, who got just about a few votes, well, I think
10,000 votes is not a few votes for someone relatively unknown.
10,000 votes, yes. He's not relatively unknown. He's been around. He's been around. Maybe not quite known to everybody.
But at least we know him now.
But exactly, we know him now. And secondly, why I really want to talk about him is that what he did should be also encouraged. Because I'm sure most people who wanted to contest in the APC stepped down because they knew they were going to lose. They knew already that Mr. President would take the day. But this man, knowing that he was going up against the incumbent, knowing that he was going up against a man that he is almost certain was going to defeat him in the primaries, he still went ahead to show that he is capable, to show that he's for the future. I think he will be one of the politicians we will look out for in the future. The people who will come up to prove and to show us that there's true democracy in Nigeria. So for him, it's not something that anybody should laugh at. It's not something that people should discuss lightly. He has done noble. He has done the right thing. Otherwise, the president would have gone unopposed. But he came out to test his might, to test his ability, to test his followership, to see how far he can go as a politician.
And that's a commendable.
And yes, it's commendable. I'm sure even Mr. President will also note that this guy came out. I'm sure he's taking note of the guy, and then tomorrow you don't know what will become of him.
Yes, and we're sure
most importantly, before we go further, we would like to congratulate Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for winning the primaries of the APC. Like we said, he is going to win 2027. I've been saying it here non-stop, and I will continue saying it. From what we have seen, 11 million people to come out to vote at the primaries. Man, that alone will give him the election. I don't see any opposition. I don't see any other candidate who will be able to get 11 million people on the ballot for himself. So, like I told Nigerians, like I told everyone, it is better for us to join the winning team. His team is the winning team. And if you're still not part of this team, I don't know what you are doing. I don't know what you're waiting for. Like we said, it is 4 + 4, 8. And Mr. President has shown that with the primaries. He has let us know that he is not a pushover. He's not somebody. Forget the noise and everything we're seeing on social media. Forget the people who gather and call themselves opposition and say they are coalitions. They will not be able to put up the fight that will unseat the president. We have said it, and we're telling young people to put their mouth. Is it your mouth you put where your money is, or your money
put your money where your mouth is?
Whichever one. But let's stand with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has taken the ticket for the APC. He's going to win come 2027.
Yes, members of the ADC will not agree with some of the things you said because, I mean, even as at this moment of recording, the ADC is currently having their primaries, also in direct primary system at the moment, and it's all over the news. So why I say they will not agree is that they are also testing their muzzle, testing the waters, doing direct primaries, canvassing for votes and all that, and we are yet to see, what numbers they would give.
I said it here the last time that I'm not sure ADC will have a candidate at the election. I said it here the last time. When I said it, people didn't understand. Now I'm asking, which of the ADC now is having primaries today? We know of the ADC primary that was held over the weekend, and that Jumebi Kachi, who is the candidate, he met the winner of the ADC. He's currently, as we speak now, he's the flag bearer of ADC.
For one faction, or
well, I don't know for you.
Is it against the INEC?
This same Jumebi Kachuku in the last presidential election was the flag bearer of ADC. So if you're saying what faction, which one is now the legal faction? It is left to the people in ADC to let us know. I learned this is actually one of the reasons Peter Obi jumped ship. When he found out that they were not all together, that they will definitely have legal issues after their primaries or even after the election. And that's why he quietly left them. And now we're seeing it. Where is Atiku standing? The primary is going on today. I think that's the faction where Atiku belongs. There's one that they have announced result already, which is for Jumebi Kachuku, which looks like the official ADC faction. There's still a third one that will be expecting to have their primary some other day. So you see what I said the last time that we had people gather and say that they were coalition under ADC. I said they are jokers.
So this already looks like a good business for lawyers.
Joke. Yes, exactly.
Lawyers should prepare.
It's not even lawyers. They may likely not have a candidate.
Because I see them going to
on the ballot. They may not be on the ballot. They may likely not have a candidate when eventually gets to 2027 election proper. If this is how they are starting their primaries, okay, are they going to now have 3 candidates and maybe go for a meeting to decide the consensus candidate, or how are they going to do it? First of all, what they are doing is already illegal. A party cannot have 2 primaries. A party cannot have 2 primaries. So automatically they have set themselves up for disqualification, which is what I'm saying. And so many other parties will also have issues like this. And that is why I have said that there's nothing as wonderful as standing with a man who has built a structure, a man who is doing everything according to the books. And I said it. That's one of the criteria of a good leader. First of all, for you to say that you are a leader, you have to have order. You have to have structure. You cannot just be jumping up and down for selfish reasons. And that's what we have seen with the so-called candidates. Apart from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, most of the candidates who say that they are coming out for presidency, they are just jumping up and down, running around with no structure. Everything they are pushing is personal. And that is why I said that we should not be distracted. Young people should not listen to anybody who is coming to say anything without a structure. Mandela said it some time ago, that you cannot be a leader if you are easily pushed from one direction to the other. I'm paraphrasing. But that's something that we need to look into.
Yes.
Let us stand with the man that looks like what he's saying and looks like what he's doing. Most importantly, that has structure. Most importantly, that has stood on his ideology. From inception, he has not moved. What he is what he is. It is better that way than for us to follow people who are like the weather. They change at the slightest instance.
Yes.
And I think from these primaries, we'll have an idea of what 2027 will look like.
Yes, talking about, moving like the weather, somebody not being stable in one party, jumping from one party to the other. There's a quote, because you mentioned Mandela. I think Peter Obi quoted Winston Churchill recently, and let me paraphrase as well, that he said that some people switch their parties because of their policies. Some people change their policies because of their parties. So would you say Peter Obi, knowing what has happened in the ADC, made the right decision by, moving to the NDC, where it seems it's safer there?
So for him, I will not speak for him because I'm actually not in his mind and I'm not part of his team. So I will not be able to categorically tell you this is his reason for moving or this is his reason for changing his ideas or whatever you said. He said you either change party or change idea. What I am saying is that he has done that so many times, one too many. And for that reason, it beats imagination. It beats any reasonable explanation. If he had done it just once, if he had moved maybe from ABGA now to NDC, or he had moved from PDP to NDC, then I will understand. Then I will be able to make a case for him.
In between that,
but I'm even confused because as we are speaking right now, I'm not even sure NDC is his final destination. So there's a problem.
He has been given the presidential ticket already.
Well, until we see him on the ballot. Who told you? When I told you some months ago that he was going to leave ADC, did you believe? You didn't believe me when I told you he was going to leave ADC. So until the day of election, and you now see his name and see his party, that's when you know. And that is not the kind of person that want to hand over Nigeria.
Some people have said, one of the politicians on the APC said that Mr. Stanley Osifo has more balls than Peter Obi, that if Stanley Osifo can contest against the incumbent and president and the party leader, that why can't Peter Obi contest against the article in the primaries?
The politician who said so is in a better position to explain. I have not removed their pants before to know whose balls is bigger. I don't know how big Peter Obi's balls are, neither do I know how small Osifo balls are. But what we know is that Osifo came out, stood for primaries, and he did very well, and he should be encouraged. As for Peter Obi, he's been running from primaries. Peter Obi is trying to go where there will be no primaries, and he has never had any primaries before. I've said it here, and I'm saying it again. Peter Obi has always tried to get it on a platter, even when he became governor in Anambra State.
Candidate.
Yes, when he became governor in Anambra State, he wasn't the one who won the primaries. Go and check your records. People don't know these things. He did not win the primaries, the ABGA primaries. He did not win the ABGA primaries. I've forgotten. I would have given you the name of the person who won the ABGA primaries. And suddenly he emerged the candidate because of Ojukwu. And that is what he has followed. That is what he has enjoyed. He brought out somebody else to come and contest and gave the guy all his support in Anambra State for Giba. The guy didn't win. So he has never won primaries. That's why he's afraid of primaries. And there are so many things we don't know. Forget about his going up and down and talking about economics and things like that. He hasn't been tested.
I think yet. Being the governor is a level of test. Two-time governor.
How well did he do as a governor? Did he do better than Akpabio? Akpabio, if you go to Godswill Akpabio now and ask him what he did as a governor, he's going to reel out what he did as a governor for you. If you go to, what about this man from Cross River? No, not even Ebonyi. The young, handsome man from Cross River. What was the Donald Duke?
Yeah.
Donald Duke. Go to Calabar and see what Donald Duke did there. Those are the people that will say that they did well as governor, and you will shut up. You won't have anything to say. Peter Obi's one can be contested, and the only thing he's going to tell is that he left money in 3 banks. How can you leave exactly the same amount in 3 banks? You know that he was staged now. And I keep asking, what about the interest? Nobody has said anything about the interest on those funds. You left money in banks where you either had a major share or your friends owned the bank. And you left exactly the same amount in dollar in 3 banks, the same amount in naira in 3 banks. And Nigerians are listening to this, and Nigerians are applauding. When we had so many things, there is no state that has been given allocation to go and save it. Allocation is meant for you to develop the state. It's meant for the welfare of the people. Anambra State, I keep saying it. Doctors went on strike for 13 months. Tertiary institutions had their school fees increased. Meanwhile, we had these monies in 3 banks. And that is his CV. That is what he's bringing to Nigeria to tell us that he can run Nigeria. As he will deal with the demons in the north. I keep saying it and I keep mentioning that there are structures that we need to dismantle up north, which is what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing. That's why he's getting all the bad names. That's why the media and everything conspires to come against him, because they know what he's doing. And that is just it. Peter Obi is a great man. I'm not against him. He's a very prudent person, but he may not be able to stand against the opposition that will come from the north. And that is why they are even supporting him. That's why they want to push him in, because they know the way they push him in is the way they're going to push him out or ride him or run the office for him. And when he refuses, then he's going to have problems with them. And when that problem comes out, will he be able to deal with the problem from the north? That is my fear. That is why I'm saying that he should hold on. Let Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu finish what he has started. He's already putting them in their place. It is this same north that said that never again will anybody from the southeast rule Nigeria. Is Nigeria their birthright? And we that were southeasterners, we know these things and we understand these things. Yet we don't want to support the man who is already putting them in their place. And that is what we're saying. Of course, Nigeria needs a lot. All hands will have to be on deck for us to move Nigeria forward. But first of all, there has to be a leadership that is strong enough, bold enough to confront any demon from any part of the country.
Now that you mentioned the Southeast, let me ask you this question based on the Southeast. In the APC, the last president was from the North. The current president is from the Southwest. Do you see the APC being the faster route for a Southeasterner to become president next?
Well, for now, APC is the ruling party. At some point, PDP was the ruling party. I don't know what will become the ruling party tomorrow. But if APC is still the ruling party, then yes, it could be the fastest route for anybody, whether from the southeast or wherever you're from. Because we understand that in Nigeria, our politics most times leads to the strongest party. It has always been like that. The ruling party, the strongest party at every election will always produce the president. And if, as at 2031, APC is still the strongest party, it will take a serious opposition, and it will take an opposition with a structure, not the kind of opposition we're seeing, not the coalition we're seeing that people will just rally in 3 months and call themselves coalition and think that they can take it. No, they cannot. For APC to dismantle PDP, APC worked for it. And it all boils down to same Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who started as a regional party, who started as the regional strong man, and built to the point where he couldn't be neglected, where the rest of the people had to come on a round table, invited him to that table, and they formed the coalition that we see today as APC. That was the only way they could dismantle PDP. And if we don't have that, which is why I said that Peter Obi will have to go back. Peter Obi, let me not call him like people from Peter Obi needs to go back to ABGA. He needs to go back to the southeast and build ABGA. ABGA is his structure. He cannot forget what he's doing, forget what he did with Labour, forget what he did with PDP, and what he wants to do now with NDC. Yes, because of his personality, because of his goodwill, which you cannot deny, he may be able to gather that followership online. But the structure that will give you victory at the ballot cannot
It's from the grassroots.
Yes, it's from the grassroots. So he needs to build a structure. He needs to go back to ABGA. Let him forget about 2027. Asiwaju is returning in 2027. Let him focus on 2031. He's saying that by 2031 that he'll be too old. That's not true. He will still be in his 60s. Let him go and build a structure in the southeast. By the time he has a regional party that is very strong, then when you come to the center, you will be seated on the table. Then you will negotiate and tell them, this is what I want. And Nigerians will give you the support and you will win. That's the only way. The way he's going about it, the fire brigade approach will not work, especially this 2027. I am very certain it's not going to work. You have seen what happened with the APC primaries. Imagine if those 11 million people come out on that same day, which even more of them will come out to vote.
Yeah, because these are just party members.
These are just party members.
Wow.
And there are still so many other people who support Asiwaju, who believe in Asiwaju, that are not APC members.
I want to put you on the spot here, please pardon me. There are some candidates that were in the Labour Party and other parties and they won election because of the fame of maybe Peter Obi or some other candidate. And once they got into the Senate, for example, or the House of Reps, they switched to the APC. And now some of them are not getting return tickets.
So simply the reason that happened was because there was no structure. There was no structure, which is what I said. Okay, even the man they followed, the P2B they followed in Labour. After the election, when those guys won election, what did he do with them? Nothing. Which is why I said that he's not a mentor.
No continuity.
There's no continuity. There's no building of anybody. There's no support system, nothing. So those guys felt left alone. They felt left out. So for them to have moved to APC, it is because nobody led them. There was nobody to give them direction. There was nobody to give them a plan of where they're going, because there was no structure, and there's still no structure. And in Nigeria, once you don't have a structure, once you cannot mentor people, the mentees will not follow you.
And something similar might happen again.
It's going to happen. And the people who voted them didn't even vote them because of Peter Obi. They voted them because of Labour Party. People were told at that time that once you go out, especially, of course, if you look at those, we were talking about people from the Southeast. Most of them came from the Southeast because that was where Labour had so many followers.
Yeah, even in Lagos. Yeah.
And they were told to just vote Labour. So what they did, they didn't even look at the name of the candidates. They just voted Labour. But if there was a structure, it would have been nice after the election for somebody to rally them, gather them around, and show them a blueprint of what Labour Party should be or what Labour Party would have become by now. But nothing happened. They just abandoned Labour the way Labour was, they thought, until now. That's why he cannot run under Labour anymore. That's why he's moved to NDC. And the same thing is going to happen. Immediately he got to NDC, most people from the Southeast went to go and buy NDC form because they are hoping that the market women and the old people in the Southeast will be told
vote anyway,
NDC, but it's going to fail them this time around because the things people didn't know about APC and Asiwaju, now they're beginning to know. That is why we're coming here every day, every time, talking about how well he's doing and what he's doing in Nigeria. So it's not going to be business as usual anymore. By 2027, people would have been informed, people would have been educated enough to know that it is APC and Asiwaju that should be voted at the ballot. So even those guys buying up NDC forms now, I wish them well. But most importantly, until a party builds a structure from the grassroots, the party is not going anywhere.
Yeah, I quickly want us to talk about this. Maybe we'll round up with this. There's something that always stains the white of any government, especially when it comes to election period, and that's insecurity. We heard of what happened in the Southwest where, students, very tender underage students and their teachers were kidnapped. One of them has been unalived. As sad as it is happening around, electioneering period. I don't know if you have something to say to maybe encourage the people, maybe, show solidarity with the nation.
So insecurity is one thing I don't like playing politics with. When it comes to insecurity, we're all affected. And unfortunately, we know how we got here. It's a tool that politicians have used to fight opposition. It's a tool politicians have used to create problems, to unseat people in power. From time to time, they tried it the first time, it worked, and since then it has been there. Everybody understands that the reason we're seeing all these pockets of issues here and there is because election time is near. What they're trying to do is to discredit the government, but unfortunately, they don't know they're joking with lives. It's very unfortunate, and I'm so sorry, and I'm reaching out to the families that have lost people in this period due to insecurity. May God keep them, may God strengthen them. It's not something that we should take lightly or come and discuss politics with. And we're also appealing to the federal government to do as much as they can. It is time we need to start calling out these people. If we know anybody or hear of anybody who is involved or sponsors of this insecurity, we should call them out immediately, bring them to book. I think it is time we become very decisive with these issues because they think they are playing politics, but people are losing their lives. And at the end of the day, they are leaving families behind for nobody to take care of. So it's quite unfortunate. Yes, we hear of things happening here and there, and we're not happy about those things. And we're telling the government, we're pleading, and we're asking the federal government, the army, the police force, and everything to do as much as they can to bring people, the perpetrators, to book and deal with them decisively. I think we've gotten to where they should not even be given any chance anymore. And also the politicians who are behind this thing, we should look out for them, fish them out, and also deal with them squarely. I think that is where we should start from. And I hope we have plans in place to do that. Of course, because it's security, even if there are plans in place, they cannot be made very public. I'm sure and they will go about it discreetly. And I know that there are meetings here and there on how to deal with this issue. But like I said, it is affecting all of us. And I'm talking to young people in various communities, the youth of various communities. It is also time for you guys to wake up, sit up, and protect your territory.
Exactly.
The men, the boys who do this things are not older than us. They are not older than the youth we have in various communities. It is time for us to become vigilant. Let's not get carried away by lifestyle and some other things. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our mothers. We need to protect our women. We need to protect our aged members of our community.
Yes.
We need to put a stop to this. And it's a fight that we all need to join. It is not left for the police alone or for the military alone. Yes, of course, we know that they will champion the fight. But I'm asking for every community, for everywhere, let the young men rise and stand against insecurity. And we'll see it go away in no time.
Yes, it's a collective work, it's a collective effort, nation building, politics, governance, everything. It's all, tied in one, and we all should come out and, help ourselves, support our communities, help our nation. That's what true citizenship means. And that's it on this episode of the Politalker. Follow us on all social media handles, share our videos, share our posts, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's always at the Politalker. Thank you very much.